Good evening. Angry protests in St Kilda have been met by a massive police response. Extreme right-wing demonstrators with swastika signs were confronted by anti-racism groups. Both sides combined were outnumbered by police, who used capsicum spray and made 3 arrests.
Flashpoint on the foreshore, St Kilda beach divided. 2 sides with opposing views on multiculturalism, police keeping them apart. Both keen to label the other.
They're violent fascists.
We just want to make sure there's some opposition to the thugs that are trying to mobilise.
Right-wing activist Neil Erickson, who's been convicted for hate speech against Muslims, says he wanted to reclaim the beach after weeks of violent late-night confrontations between groups of youths and innocent victims. Among their supporters, Senator Fraser Anning. But another group got to the beach first, determined to be bigger and louder.
Africans are welcome, racists are not.
It's got out of hand. Every time we have a protest, the left come and counter it, and there's always violence. It's sad to see.
The police reaction was enormous. On the ground, hundreds of public order response team members, some in riot gear, ready for anything, plus the K9 unit, and in the air, on horseback, and even in Port Phillip Bay. The long arm of the law, occasionally around a neck.
What about the real story?
Come with me.
Officers desperate to stifle hints of violence using capsicum spray. Even though both sides insisted they wanted to be peaceful, each tried to get to the other, starting on the foreshore, then moving up to the Esplanade and settling on Beaconsfield Parade.
This is just Aussies against Aussies. It should never be like this.
2 men stole a generator from a passing ute with a speaker system supporting the left, while another punched its speakers.
Some guy went past in his car, yelling out pseudos are welcome, so I smashed up his speakers, so he can't talk anymore.
Why did you want to do that?
Because it's ridiculous, they're not welcome here.
3 were arrested. They eventually dispersed near Luna Park as bemused onlookers tried to understand it all.
Surely there's a more positive way for people to spend this Saturday afternoon in this beautiful city than yelling at each other.
Paul Dowsley, 7 News.
Good evening. Police have used capsicum spray to keep apart hundreds of far-right demonstrators and counter-protesters in St Kilda. Several people have been arrested and others detained. Sam Cucchiara will have the details shortly.
Dragged to the ground, handcuffed and capsicum sprayed. Officers in riot gear brandishing shields and batons.
Just one! It all takes is one!
Fight to hold the line between protesters on the St Kilda foreshore. Riled up by self-professed patriots.
If we have to, we will march on that city and we will take it over!
With the support of a Queensland senator, those who couldn't get at each other took to damaging cars.
Some guy went past in his car, yelling out pseudos are welcome, so I smashed up his speakers.
They're not here today. They're cowards. They're jackals. They only come out at night attacking families.
Of course you have small groups. Of course you have people who play up. It doesn't matter if they're black or white.
Those who managed to sneak to the opposing side were quickly swarmed by police and jeered as they were led away. With the violence spilling off the beach, police have now formed a massive wall here on the St Kilda Esplanade as they struggle to keep those crowds apart. As the mounted branch stormed in to separate hotspots, the K9 unit patrolled from the ground with the help of the police helicopter and water police, patting down those feared to be concealing weapons.
To my knowledge so far, we have 3 arrests, 1 for breach of bail, 1 for possessed dangerous article, an 18-year-old male from Sunbury, possessed drug of dependence, an 18-year-old male from Mernda.
I would rather have a situation in which there is public opposition to these people than them just getting free rein on St Kilda Beach to go and attack whoever they want.
As roads were closed, the chaos moved to outside Luna Park.
Why do you reckon there's so many police here?
It was all organised by far-right groups and convicted criminals Neil Erickson and Blair Cottrell over what they say is an African gangs crisis, vowing to return and do it all again until their message is heard. Sam Cucchiara, 9 News.